Hi everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of my 5-part series on starting school. I'm really excited to share this journey with you. Let me just say that if you know anybody who has a child starting school and you think this would be of benefit, please tag them below. So today I want to talk to you about just being positive about the fabulous change that's about to come up for you and your child with you starting school. Change can be really challenging, not only for your children but also for you, and I just want you to know that whatever you're feeling, it's normal. You might be really excited, or you might be feeling, a bit sick about it all, and the same with your children. So just accept where they are, have a talk to them about it, and even if they are feeling quite nervous and upset, the best thing that you can do is to be positive about it, even if it means that you need to put on a brave face, so to speak. So remember that this really, starting school is really something inevitable that will happen. Please just make the most of it, enjoy every minute of it, talk with one another about what's going on, prepare your children. I do have lots of little hints and tips over the next few days that hopefully will help, but today I just really wanted to say that just be positive. Remember that, if we all just did the same thing all the time, none of us would grow and develop, and your children especially, going to school is such a great start to their life and their education, their formal education. Obviously, you've been a part of their education for so long. So really embrace it. Remember that there will be a few things that will change, and children will need to get used to. So some of the things that you can talk to your children about, obviously it will be a different environment. They may or may not have had older brothers or sisters attending the school, so they might be aware of the environment, they might not. So that's something to be aware of. So please, if you get the opportunity, go down to the school and have a bit of a look. There'll also be rules and expectations at school, and obviously, the need to listen, and when someone's talking, to stop and to listen. There might be boundaries where the play area is, so they'll need to be aware that potentially could happen, and then they'll need to listen to the teacher about that. There'll also be lots of new relationships, so new relationships with children, new relationships with staff, and some of those might come really easily and some might be a bit tricky, but that's okay, because both you and the teachers are there to support your children, and it will be a positive experience. Might not be the first day or two, you just never know, but hopefully it will be for many children. It'll be a positive experience right from the start. There will also be some learning, not expectations, but there'll be time where children will need to sit and to listen. There might be some set tasks for them to do, and also they'll need a little bit more independence than perhaps they've had before. It depends on what they've been doing over the last 4 or 5 years, and how much of that time they've spent with you, how much they may have spent in childcare or preschool, or just with other people. So it will be a learning experience, but overall, please just remain positive. Talk to your children. Remember that nothing needs to happen overnight. All the skills that they've developed over the last 4 or 5 years will definitely come into play. They are equipped. You will be surprised at how resilient our children are. And please just enjoy the experience. Today is the second of the 5-day series in children starting school, and today I want to talk to you about lunch boxes. For children who are starting to use lunch boxes for possibly the first time, it can be sometimes a bit tricky. So there's a few things that I want you to try that might help your child feel more comfortable and confident using their lunchbox. So first of all, find a lunchbox that they can easily access, so they can open it, they can unclip the lids or undo the zips or however it seals up. So first of all, first step, getting into it. The second step is being able to distinguish what actually is food for snack time and what is food for lunchtime. Sometimes, you know, children just open that lid and they see, you know, sometimes all sorts of treats, and they're the things that they like to eat first, rather than the sandwiches or you know, wraps or whatever else you might have in there. So please, whether you can separate the lunchbox or whether you can colour code it with little stickers about what might be for snack time and what's for lunchtime, just to help your child sort out so they're not confused in what's going on, just to start with. Okay, next thing is about getting into their food. So do they have a yogurt? Do they need to be able to open the top? What about an apple? Can they eat just a full apple, or do you cut it and then wrap it in Glad wrap or something like that? Are they able to access that? Sometimes it can be quite tricky to be able to get into those snacks. So lots of practice. Take them out on picnics leading up to school, and you know, pack the lunchbox and teach them the skills to be able to access their food. One thing for sure is, if you have yogurts, please don't send a really good spoon. They are often lost. Maybe invest in a small packet of plastic spoons to start off with until your child is a bit more comfortable and confident in packing up their own things and being responsible. So yeah, there's some of the things. Please make sure that the food that you pack is healthy. Because, you know, the more nutrients and goodness that your children get into their body, the better they are and the better chance they're going to have for learning. So, you know, please make the most and think about that. If you want to make some snacks, obviously they can be a whole lot cheaper than the packet stuff. So really involve your children in the cooking. They'll be much more likely to eat it if it's something that they've helped cook. So there, what else have we got? Another thing for apples, if they don't like eating the apple full, some people cut them and then wrap them in Glad wrap, but you can actually cut them and then put them sort of back together and put an elastic band around them, and that seems to ward off them going too brown. So that might be a helpful little hint or tip that you might be able to use. And also make sure that with their lunchbox goes a drink bottle, and make sure that they can actually pop the top of the drink bottle, so in order to drink, but also you know, they might actually empty that during the day. So teach them how to undo the top of their drink bottle and to refill it, so that they can always be hydrated, because there's nothing worse than being thirsty and not having a drink. So there's some hints and tips for you. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the 5-day series in Children Starting School. I thought I'd come down the river today. Today we're going to talk about independence. Your children, they may be quite independent already, but for some of them, going to school will be the first opportunity where they've spent a lot of time away from their parents. So just small things like, can they open and close their school bag? Can they find their hat and put that on themselves? Can they do up their own buttons and zips so that they can go to the toilet independently? Remember that for some schools, first term might be a time for swimming lessons, so they need to be able to undress and undress themselves quite independently of one another. So yeah, if they can't do that, get them practicing. Also sunscreen, can they put their own sunscreen on? Because, you know, in our climate in Australia, we often need sunscreen, so putting that on maybe, you know, at the start of the day and at lunchtime might be something that they need to do. Can they access their own water bottle and open the top of that? If they can't, please practice those kind of skills. And following instructions, that's something that's going to happen in the school environment, probably a little bit more so than home. So practice following instructions. So perhaps start, with the one-step instructions. Can you go and get your drink bottle? Then you move into 2 steps. Can you go and get your drink bottle and put it in the fridge? And then 3-step instructions. Can you get your drink bottle, put it in the fridge, and then put your shoes on? Something like that. That's an example of different instructions, and children will need to get the hang of following those instructions. Okay, and one of the big ones is asking for help. They will be in a school environment. There might be, 20 plus children in their classroom, and although we know that school teachers are wonderful, they might not pick up at first the little subtle cues that your child might need some help when there's so many others in the room. So please don't encourage them to not be afraid to go and ask for some help if they need it, but also to have a go at something themselves first and not feel like they need to ask help for every tiny little thing. To give it a go. If they still can't do it, then it's absolutely fine to go and ask for help and to get some assistance. And as I said before, toileting, that's always something. For many, asking to go to the toilet, which is something that will need to happen in the school environment, will be something new. So, they can't just run off as soon as the urge hits them. They will need to stop and get permission, or, let someone know that they are going off to the toilet. So, please make your child aware that that is a process that will most likely happen for them at school. So I hope that's given you some hints and tips. Just practice those things. Remember, if your child's not 100% okay with all of those things, that's okay. They will learn and develop as time goes on. But they're just something that you can try and expose your children to trying some new and different things that they might not have done before. Hi everyone, and welcome to day 4 of 5 of our 5-day series on starting school. Today we're going to talk about responsibility. It's a bit of a tough one for some of our littlies, and the only way that they're going to get the hang of it is lots of practice. So here's some hints and tips on things that you can do to give a bit of practice. So first of all, just giving them small tasks to do and small responsibilities. One of those being perhaps carrying their own school bag. I see so many children come running out of school and throw their bag at their parent. Perhaps a bit of responsibility is carrying their own school bag. What about packing up their toys after they've finished playing with them? That's certainly going to be something they'll need to do at school, is when they've finished with something, they'll need to pack it up. So getting in the habit of doing that can be a great pre-learning skill for them for when they get to school. Even, as simple as putting the lids on the texters, getting the Play-Doh out of the Play-Doh toys before they put them away. Just little things like that actually make life easier for everyone else if everyone does their own little thing. Putting their clothes in the wash basket, things like that. Okay. A tip for school: label everything. You just never know what's going to go missing. Our children often leave them hanging around. Someone else will pick them up with the intention of doing the very best thing, but when your child thinks about it and goes back, then they're not there. So label everything. That will be a bit of a lifesaver for you. I think you'll find, even if the clothes end up in lost property, you might be able to find them from there. The other thing, be organised the night before. So get the bag packed as much as you can, have your clothes out, make sure, everything's there. So, and not you, your children. So encourage them to go through that routine. When they get home from school, empty their bag, put the lunchbox, even on the sink, empty out the rubbish, whatever they might need to do. Put their shoes on a rack, put whatever are the rules at your house or the expectations, but it's certainly something for responsibility. Now, I am super excited. I know that we've talked about the giveaway, which will be at the end of the 5-day series, but I've actually got a giveaway for each and every one of you today. So I do have a free giveaway for each of you, which is a set of little pictures that you can use to make school bag tags. So a school bag tag might be a collection of little pictures of things that your child needs to remember to have in their bag at either the start and or the end of the day. So these things might be a little picture of a jumper, or the drink bottle or lunchbox. It might be their medication that they've dropped off to the teacher in the morning and they need to remember to collect it at night. It could be their swimming gear if they've got swimming that day, or make sure they've got their shoes and socks. So there's a collection of little pictures for you to print up. You can then cut and paste the ones that are most relevant to you. If you can, put a bit of contact on them or laminate them, put through on a key ring and stick it on the outside of your child's bag. So when they pick up their bag, they can have a quick look, make sure that they've got everything that they need to have, and it just might help them to be a bit more responsible and take some of that pressure off you as a busy parent. The giveaway will be in my Facebook group, Building Blocks for Learning, and it is an open group, so if you're already not a member, just you need to request membership and I will agree to that, and then you can download the document straight from that group. So good luck with that. Building Blocks for Learning, that's where you'll find it. And today we're going to talk about separation anxiety. Are you clapping your hands that your little one's going to school, or are you going to need a tissue or more? I know that I certainly was a mum that needed a tissue, but I definitely tried to do that away from where my children were. So okay, let's have a talk about how you as parents are going to be feeling on this day. So remember that whatever you're feeling is normal. We all handle things in different ways, and there will be those mums who are clapping their hands and celebrating, and there will be the mums who are going to lock themselves away for a day or two and have a bit of a cry, and that's okay too. So just remember to face all of your anxiety with a brave face, because we certainly don't want to transfer any of that fear into our children. They possibly will be feeling a little bit of anxiety too, but hopefully if you've practiced some of those things that I've talked about the last few days, they will be a bit prepared and they'll be a bit excited about going to school too. Remember, they've got a whole room full of children who are in the same boat, and the teacher will probably have dealt with this in previous years as well. So they've got lots of experience, and just let it go and let them do their job, and hopefully your child will come home on the first day and they will have had a great day, and I'm pretty sure that will happen in most cases. Okay, so stay calm. If you need to have a cry, try not to do that right there at the school gate. Take it home with you if you can. But turning up, make sure you're not there too early or too late. Be there on time so that your child will feel a bit settled, and that you will have the opportunity to talk to perhaps some other parents and see how they're feeling, and just enjoy the day. And if you have to put on a brave face and fake it, do that. Do that, especially for the first little bit. Just give your child the most positive experience you can. Leading up to it, you can talk to your children about the positive things your positive experiences and memories from school. Make school out to be somewhere where there is not only lots of learning but lots of fun all the time with friends, and open the experiences that are open to you. Have a great week starting school if you haven't already, and or it might even be the week after for you. But anyway, enjoy it all. It's a great experience, and yeah, see you on Tuesday. Bye.